or the son he never knew. She walked into my office after 23 years of silence, my first love, the girl I thought I'd never see again. She had tears streaming down her face and 3 words that destroyed everything I thought I knew about my life. "You have a son. My name is Michael Brooks, and until 6 months ago, I thought I had it all figured out. I'm 42 years old, senior partner at Gladstone Investment Bank in Boston. Corner office on the 38th floor with a view of the Charles River. 7-figure salary. Respect from colleagues. Success by any measure. But more importantly, I had a family I loved. My wife, Lauren, beautiful, intelligent, a pediatric surgeon at Mass General. We met in our late 20s, married at 30, built a life together that felt solid, real, permanent. We have 2 kids, Christopher, 17, senior at Boston Latin, already accepted to Yale early decision, and Grace, 15, brilliant, sarcastic, with her mother's sharp wit and my stubborn streak. We live in a restored Victorian in Brookline, weekend dinners with friends, summer vacations in Cape Cod. The kind of life you see in magazines and think, they must be happy. And we were. God, we really were. Every morning, I'd wake up at 5:30, kiss Lauren while she was still sleeping, and drive into the city feeling grateful. Grateful for the second chance life had given me. You see, I didn't grow up with money or privilege. I grew up in Dorchester, in a neighborhood where getting out meant everything. My dad worked construction, my mom cleaned houses. They sacrificed everything so I could go to college, be the first in our family to escape the cycle. I built my success from nothing. From scholarship kid to Ivy League MBA to investment banking. The American dream, right? But I left something behind in Dorchester. Someone. Her name was Emma Taylor. Emma and I met when we were 14 years old, freshman year at Dorchester High. She sat 2 rows ahead of me in English class, and I remember the exact moment I noticed her. She was reading To Kill a Mockingbird while the teacher was still taking attendance, completely absorbed, twirling a strand of dark hair around her finger. She was beautiful in a way that didn't fit our neighborhood. Delicate features, these incredibly expressive green eyes, a quiet sadness that made you want to know her story. It took me 3 months to work up the courage to talk to her. Finally, I asked if I could borrow her notes from a class I'd missed. She said yes, and that was it. We became inseparable. Emma lived with her grandmother in a small apartment on Bowdoin Street. Her parents had died in a car accident when she was 8. Drunk driver, wrong place, wrong time. Her grandmother, Mrs. Catherine Taylor, was raising her on a fixed income, Social Security barely covering rent and food. But despite everything, Emma was the smartest person I'd ever met. She could quote poetry from memory. She painted these incredible watercolors. She saw beauty in places the rest of us only saw broken concrete and chain-link fences. We were together all through high school. Young love, intense and all-consuming, the way only teenage love can be. We'd spend hours walking along Carson Beach, talking about getting out of Dorchester together, going to college, building a life somewhere better. Senior year, I got a full scholarship to Boston University. Business school, my ticket out. Emma got accepted to the Rhode Island School of Design for Art, full ride. She was talented enough that even with no money, doors were opening for her. We made plans. We'd commute, see each other on weekends, survive the distance. After graduation, we'd get married, move somewhere together, start our real lives. That summer after high school graduation was perfect. We spent every day together, working part-time jobs, saving money, dreaming about the future. Then, in late August, 2 weeks before we were supposed to start college, everything fell apart. Emma's grandmother had a massive stroke, devastating. Mrs. Taylor survived, but she needed round-the-clock care, nursing home-level care that cost thousands of dollars a month. Emma was 18, legally an adult, and suddenly responsible for impossible decisions. I remember sitting with her in the hospital cafeteria while her grandmother was in ICU. Emma was crying, exhausted, terrified. I can't leave her, Michael. She raised me. She gave up everything for me. I can't abandon her now. What about our ISD? What about your scholarship? I'll defer for a year, maybe 2. I'll get a job, figure out how to pay for her care, and then I'll go back to school. I tried to convince her there was another way. Apply for assistance, talk to social workers, find a solution that didn't mean giving up her dreams. But Emma had already decided. She was deferring her admission, staying in Dorchester, taking a job at a nursing home to be close to her grandmother. I went to BU that fall, feeling guilty, like I was abandoning her. We tried to make it work. I'd come home every weekend, spend time with Emma, help her however I could. But she was drowning, working 60 hours a week, visiting her grandmother every day, barely sleeping. And I was in a completely different world. College classes, new friends, opportunities she didn't have. The distance between us wasn't just physical, it was circumstantial, emotional. We were on different paths now. The end came on a cold February night during my freshman year. Emma called me crying. "Michael, I can't do this anymore. This isn't fair to you." "What are you talking about?" "You're building a future. I'm stuck in the past. You need to move on, have the life you deserve. I can't be the anchor that holds you back." "Emma, you're not an anchor." "Yes, I am. And I love you too much to watch you sacrifice your dreams for someone who's going nowhere." She broke up with me that night. On the phone. Wouldn't see me in person. Wouldn't let me argue. I tried calling her for weeks. She wouldn't answer. I went to her apartment. She wouldn't open the door. Eventually, I got the message. It was over. That spring, I heard through mutual friends that Emma had moved, left Dorchester. Someone said she went to New Hampshire, maybe Maine, to live with a distant relative. Her grandmother had been moved to a state facility. I tried to find her, called old friends, checked social media before social media was really a thing. Nothing. Emma Taylor had disappeared from my life completely. Losing Emma nearly destroyed me that freshman year. I stopped going to classes, my grades tanked. I seriously considered dropping out. But my parents didn't raise a quitter. My dad sat me down during spring break and gave me the speech that changed my trajectory. "Son, I break my back every day so you can have opportunities I never had. You think I do that so you can throw it away over a girl? You honor that girl by becoming the man she believed you could be?" So I got my shit together, threw myself into my studies, made Dean's List sophomore year. Junior year, landed a competitive internship at an investment bank. Senior year, got offers from 3 top firms. By the time I graduated, I was a different person, focused, ambitious, driven. I'd locked the pain of losing Emma into a compartment deep inside and built a wall around it. I started working at Gladstone, 80-hour weeks, climbing the ladder. I dated occasionally, nothing serious. Work was my relationship. Then, at 28, I met Lauren at a hospital fundraiser. She was completing her residency in pediatric surgery, brilliant and beautiful, and nothing like Emma. Where Emma was soft and artistic, Lauren was sharp and logical. Where Emma dreamed, Lauren planned. We clicked. Not the crazy, all-consuming passion I'd had with Emma, but something steadier, more mature. Adult love, built on compatibility and shared goals. We dated for 2 years. She met my parents, I met hers. We talked about the future in concrete terms. Marriage, kids, career trajectories, 5-year plans. When I proposed, it felt right, safe, like the life I was supposed to have. We got married at 30, beautiful wedding in Newport, honeymoon in Italy, bought our house in Brookline a year later. Christopher was born when I was 33. Grace followed 2 years later. Life was good, really good. The kind of good where you stop looking backward because the present is enough. I thought about Emma sometimes, late at night, when everyone was asleep. Wondered where she was, what had happened to her, if she ever thought about me. But those thoughts came less and less frequently. She became a memory, a chapter from another life. Until 6 months ago, when that chapter came crashing back into my present with the force of a freight train. It was a Tuesday in October. I remember because Tuesdays are when I have my standing meeting with the firm's senior partners. My assistant, Rebecca, buzzed me around 2 o'clock. "Mr. Brooks, there's a woman here to see you. She doesn't have an appointment, but she says it's urgent and personal." I was annoyed. "Rebecca, you know I don't take walk-ins. Tell her to schedule..." "She says her name is Emma Taylor. She said you'd know who she is." My heart stopped, literally stopped beating for what felt like a full second. "Send her in." I stood up from my desk, straightening my tie, my hands shaking slightly. 23 years. 23 years since I'd last seen her, last heard her voice. The door opened, and there she was. Emma had aged, of course. We all had. But she was still beautiful. Her dark hair was shorter now, streaked with a few strands of silver. She'd lost weight, looked fragile in a way that concerned me immediately. But her eyes, those green eyes that I'd never forgotten, were exactly the same. She stood in the doorway of my corner office, looking small and out of place in her simple jeans and sweater, surrounded by my expensive furniture and corporate success. "Hi, Michael," she said softly. "Emma." My voice came out hoarse. I can't believe it's you. I'm sorry for just showing up like this. I know it's been a long time. 23 years. You've been counting." I gestured to the chairs by the window. "Please sit. Can I get you something? Coffee? Water?" She shook her head and sat down carefully, like she was in pain. I sat across from her, studying her face, trying to reconcile this woman with the 18-year-old girl I'd loved. "You look good, Michael. Successful. I'm happy for you." "Emma, what's going on? Why are you here?" She took a deep breath, and I saw tears forming in her eyes. I'm sick, Michael. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. They've given me 6 months, maybe less. The words hit me like a physical blow. Oh my God! Emma, I'm so sorry. Is there anything I can do? Treatment? Specialists? I have connections. She held up her hand. I've tried everything. It's too far advanced. I'm making peace with it. Then why come find me now? After all these years? Emma's hands were shaking. She clasped them together in her lap, staring at them as if gathering courage. Because I have to tell you something I should have told you 23 years ago, but I was too scared, and then too much time passed, and I convinced myself it was better if you never knew. A cold dread started creeping up my spine. Emma, what are you talking about? She looked up at me, tears now streaming down her face. When I broke up with you in February of your freshman year, I was pregnant, Michael. I was pregnant with your baby. The room started spinning. I gripped the arms of my chair. What? We have a son. His name is Tyler. He's 22 years old, and he's the most incredible person I've ever known, and he deserves to know his father before I die. I couldn't speak, couldn't process what she was saying. The words didn't make sense, couldn't be real. A son, I finally whispered. We have a son. Yes. For 22 years, I've had a child I didn't know about. Emma was crying harder now. I'm so sorry, Michael. I'm so sorry. Anger exploded through me. I stood up abruptly, making Emma flinch. You're sorry? You kept my child from me for 22 years, and you're sorry? Michael, please. How could you do that? How could you make that decision for both of us? I was 18 years old. Emma stood up too, her voice breaking. I was terrified. I had no money, no family. My grandmother was dying. When I found out I was pregnant, I didn't know what to do. You could have told me. I had a right to know. You were at BU on a full scholarship, building the future we dreamed about. If I told you I was pregnant, you would have dropped out, married me, thrown everything away. I couldn't let you do that. That wasn't your choice to make. I know. She collapsed back into the chair, sobbing. I know it wasn't. But I was a scared kid trying to do what I thought was right. I thought I was protecting you. I forced myself to breathe, to calm down enough to think. I sat back down, putting my head in my hands. Tell me everything, from the beginning. Emma wiped her eyes and began. I found out I was pregnant in January. I was 3 months along by the time I realized. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't tell my grandmother. She was so sick. The stress would have killed her. I had no one else. You had me. You were in a different world, Michael. College, new opportunities. If I'd told you, what would you have done? I didn't answer because we both knew. I would have dropped out, married her, gotten whatever job I could find to support us. Emma continued. I made a plan. I'd have the baby, give it up for adoption, go back to my life. It seemed like the best solution for everyone. But you didn't give him up for adoption. No. She smiled through her tears. I couldn't. The moment they put him in my arms, I looked at his little face. Your face, Michael. He has your eyes. And I couldn't do it. He was mine. Ours. I couldn't give him away. So what did you do? I moved to Maine. I had a distant cousin there who let me stay with her. I got a job waitressing, took online classes when I could, raised Tyler by myself. It was hard. God, it was so hard. But he was worth it. Every sleepless night, every bill I couldn't pay, every sacrifice. He was worth all of it. You should have told me, Emma. I wrote you letters. Dozens of them. I'd sit up late at night after Tyler fell asleep and write you letters telling you everything. About him. About how much he looked like you. About how I was sorry. But I never sent them. Because I'd made my choice, and telling you would only hurt you. I stood up and walked to the window, looking out over Boston. Somewhere out there was a 22-year-old young man who was my son. My son. What's he like? I asked quietly. Emma's voice softened, filled with love. He's incredible, Michael. He's smart. Got a full scholarship to UMaine, studying environmental science. He's kind. He volunteers at an animal shelter. He plays guitar, writes his own songs. He's funny. He's stubborn. She paused. He's exactly like you? I turned around. Does he know about me? I told him the truth when he was 10. That his father was a good man I'd loved very much, but we were too young, and I'd made the choice to raise him alone. He's asked about you over the years, but I could never bring myself to reach out. So why now? Because I'm dying, and he deserves to have a father, and because I'm finally brave enough to admit I was wrong. You deserve to know about him. You both deserve to know each other, and I'm sorry it took me dying to make this right. I sat back down, my mind racing. I'm married, Emma. I have 2 kids. This is going to destroy my family. I know, and I'm sorry for that too. But Tyler deserves to meet you, just once before I'm gone. After that, what happens is up to you. That night, I drove home in a daze. Emma had given me her phone number, Tyler's photo on her phone, a handsome young man with my dark hair and her green eyes, and left. I sat in my car in the driveway for 20 minutes, staring at our house through the windshield. Inside, Lauren was probably making dinner. Christopher was likely doing homework. Grace was probably on her phone, my normal life, my real life, the life I'd built. And now, I had to walk in there and detonate a bomb in the middle of it. Lauren knew something was wrong the moment I walked in. She's a surgeon. She's trained to notice details. Michael, you okay? You look pale. We need to talk after dinner. It's important. Her face went serious. Is it work? Your health? After dinner, I repeated. Dinner was torture. Christopher talked about college plans. Grace complained about a teacher. Lauren discussed a complicated surgery. I barely heard any of it. After the kids went upstairs, Lauren and I sat in the living room. She poured 2 glasses of wine, handed me one, and sat across from me. Okay, you're scaring me. What's going on? I took a long drink of wine. Then I told her everything. Emma showing up. The pregnancy I never knew about. The son I'd never met. All of it. Lauren's face went through a progression of emotions. Confusion, shock, disbelief, and finally, anger. When I finished, she just stared at me for a long moment. Let me make sure I understand this correctly, she said, her voice dangerously calm. You have a 22-year-old son you never told me about? I didn't know, Lauren. I swear to God, I had no idea. But you do now. And you're telling me because she's dying. Emma's dying, and she wants me to meet him before she goes. Lauren stood up abruptly. Absolutely not. Lauren, no, Michael, no. You don't get to blow up our family because some ex-girlfriend from 2 decades ago shows up with a story. It's not a story. He exists. Tyler exists. I don't care. She was yelling now, something Lauren rarely did. I don't care if he exists. You have a family, this family. Christopher and Grace are your children, not some stranger you've never met. He's not a stranger. He's my son. He's a product of your past that has nothing to do with our present. I stood up too, trying to stay calm. Lauren, please, try to understand. If someone told you that you had a child out there you'd never met, could you really just walk away? If meeting that child meant destroying my marriage and hurting my other children? Yes, I could. I don't believe that. She grabbed her wine glass and drained it. What do you want from me, Michael? Permission to meet him? Blessing to have a relationship with him? What? I want you to understand why I have to do this. Well, I don't. I don't understand. We built a life together. 20 years of marriage, 2 children, a home, and you're willing to risk all of that for a stranger? He's not a stranger, he's my blood. Then what am I? Lauren's voice cracked. What are Christopher and Grace? Are we just... What? Second place to the family you never knew you had? Of course not. Then prove it. Don't meet him. Tell this Emma woman that you're sorry for her situation, but you have a family and you're not going to disrupt their lives. I looked at my wife of 20 years, the mother of my children, and said the words I knew would change everything. I can't do that, Lauren. I'm sorry, but I can't. She stared at me for a long moment. Then she picked up her purse and keys. Where are you going? To my sister's. I need to think. Don't call me. She left, just walked out of our house, got in her car, and drove away. I sat alone in our living room, listening to the silence, and wondered what the hell I'd just done. I met Tyler 3 days later at a coffee shop in Cambridge, neutral territory. Emma was there too, looking frailer than she had in my office. Tyler sat next to her, protective, one hand on her shoulder. The resemblance was startling. He had my build, my jawline, my dark hair. But he had Emma's eyes, her delicate features, her artistic sensibility evident in the way he dressed. Vintage band t-shirt, worn jeans, a leather bracelet. I walked up to their table, heart pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. Tyler stood up. He was tall, maybe 6'1", athletic build. Hello, he said, his voice cautious but not unfriendly. I'm Tyler. I'm Michael. I held out my hand. He shook it. His grip was firm, confident. It's surreal to finally meet you. You too. We all sat down. An awkward silence fell over the table. Emma broke it. I'm going to give you two some time alone. Tyler, I'll be in the bookstore next door when you're ready. Mom, you don't have to... Yes, I do. You need to talk, both of you. She squeezed his hand, gave me a meaningful look, and left. Tyler and I sat across from each other. Two strangers connected by biology and nothing else. So, Tyler said finally, this is weird. I laughed despite myself. Yeah, it really is. Mom told me you didn't know. About me. For what it's worth, I believe her. I've spent my whole life with her, and she's a lot of things, but she's not a liar. I know. I'm still processing it, but I know she thought she was doing the right thing. Tyler nodded. She told me about you. Growing up, Said you were the smartest, kindest person she'd ever known. Said if circumstances had been different, you would have been an amazing dad. The words hit me hard. I would have tried to be. But you have other kids now. Mom told me. A son and daughter. Yes. Christopher is 17. Grace is 15. Do they know about me? Not yet. My wife. She's having a hard time with all of this. Tyler's expression hardened slightly. I'm not trying to disrupt your life. I want you to know that. I didn't ask Mom to find you. She did this on her own. Why do you think she did? He was quiet for a moment. Because she's dying, and she doesn't want me to be alone. She's trying to give me a father before she goes. Are you alone? Do you have other family? Not really. Mom's grandmother died when I was 5. No siblings. A few distant cousins I've never met. It's mostly just been me and Mom my whole life. He paused. Which has been fine. Great, actually. She's an incredible person. I know she is. But yeah, when she's gone, I'll be the only one left. His voice cracked slightly. Which is terrifying, honestly. I felt a surge of emotion, protectiveness, love, grief for all the years I'd missed. Tell me about yourself, I said. Your mom said you're studying environmental science? His face lit up, and for the next 2 hours, we talked. About his studies, his passion for conservation, his dreams of working for the National Park Service. About his music. He played guitar and wrote songs, performed at local coffee shops sometimes. About his girlfriend, Maya, who he'd been dating for 3 years. About his life. And slowly, the strangeness began to fade. He wasn't a stranger, he was my son. I could see it in every expression, every gesture, every laugh. At one point, he asked, Do you have any pictures of your other kids? I'd like to see them, my half-siblings. I showed him photos on my phone. Christopher at his Yale acceptance celebration. Grace at her school play. Tyler studied them carefully. They look happy. You've clearly been a good dad to them. I've tried. Mom said you were always going to be successful. That you were driven, ambitious, that you were going to make something of yourself. Looks like she was right. I had help, good opportunities, people who believed in me. You also had a kid you didn't know about, who didn't get those opportunities. The bitterness in his voice was subtle but unmistakable. Tyler, if I had known. I know. Mom's told me 100 times. You would have dropped everything, married her, raised me. And honestly, I'm glad you didn't know. Because you built something incredible with your life, and Mom built something incredible with hers. We were poor, yeah, but we were happy. She gave me everything I needed. But I should have been there. Maybe, or maybe everything happened exactly the way it was supposed to. He looked at me directly. I'm not looking for a father, Michael. I already had one, Mom. She was both parents to me. What I'm looking for is, I don't know, connection, maybe. Someone who shares my DNA who I can talk to after she's gone. Someone who might give a shit if I live or die. I give a shit, I said quietly. I know I haven't earned the right to, but I do. He smiled, and it was Emma's smile. Then maybe we can figure this out, whatever this is. Lauren came home after a week at her sister's. She found me in the living room at midnight, looking through photos of Tyler that Emma had sent me. Baby pictures, school photos, childhood moments I'd missed. You met him, she said. It wasn't a question. Yes. And he's incredible, Lauren. He's smart and funny and kind. He's my son. She sat down across from me, looking exhausted. Christopher knows something's wrong. He heard me on the phone with my sister. I had to tell him. My heart sank. What did you say? The truth? That you had a son from a previous relationship you didn't know about. That this woman is dying and wants you to be part of his life. How did he take it? How do you think? His father has a secret son who's only 5 years younger than him. He's confused, hurt, angry. I need to talk to him. He doesn't want to talk to you. That hit me like a punch to the gut. Christopher and I had always been close. He was my mini-me, following in my footsteps, preparing to go to my alma mater. What about Grace? I haven't told her yet. She's young enough that maybe we can spare her some of this. Lauren. I've made a decision, Michael. Her voice was steady but cold. I'm filing for separation. What? No. Lauren, please. You chose him, a stranger, over your actual family. I didn't choose anyone. He's my son. Both Christopher and Tyler are my sons. But Christopher is the one who's been here, the one you raised, the one who calls you dad and looks up to you and needs you, and you're throwing that away. I'm not throwing anything away. I'm trying to be there for both of them. You can't have both, Michael. You can't have your perfect family and your secret son from the past. Something has to give. Why? Why can't we make room for him? Why can't our family expand instead of breaking? Because it's not fair to Christopher and Grace. They shouldn't have to share their father with a stranger because you feel guilty about the past. Tyler isn't a stranger, he's their brother. He's a stranger, Lauren repeated firmly, and I will not let you destroy our children's lives for him. She stood up. I'm sleeping in the guest room. My lawyer will contact you about the separation terms. I want you to stay away from Christopher and Grace until we figure this out. Lauren, you can't keep me from my own kids. Watch me. She walked toward the stairs, then stopped and turned back. You know what the saddest part is, Michael? I actually understand why you want to know him. If I were in your position, I might want the same thing. But I'm not you. I'm the wife who's losing her husband and watching her family fall apart. I'm the mother who has to explain to her children why their father's priorities have changed overnight. And I can't forgive that. I just can't. She went upstairs, leaving me alone. 3 days later, she served me with separation papers. Christopher refused to see me or take my calls. Grace cried herself to sleep every night, asking her mother why Daddy didn't live with them anymore. And I moved into a corporate apartment downtown, visiting Emma and Tyler regularly while my real family fell apart. Emma died on a cold December morning, 6 weeks after walking into my office. The cancer moved faster than the doctors predicted. In the end, she was in hospice for only 5 days before she slipped away peacefully, Tyler and I both by her side. I held her hand in those final moments. She looked at me with those green eyes I'd loved so long ago and whispered, "Thank you for giving him a chance. He's a good man because of you." He's a good man because of you, Emma. You did an incredible job. You'll take care of him? I promise. She smiled and closed her eyes for the last time. Tyler broke down sobbing. I held him while he cried. This young man who was my son, but also a stranger, grieving for the woman who'd been everything to him. At Emma's funeral, small, just a handful of people, Tyler asked me to speak. I stood in front of the modest gathering and talked about Emma, the girl I'd loved at 14, the woman brave enough to raise a child alone, the person who'd sacrificed her dreams so Tyler could have opportunities. After the funeral, Tyler and I went back to Emma's small apartment to sort through her things. In her bedroom, in a box under her bed, we found them. Letters. Hundreds of letters, written to me over 22 years, never sent. I read them while Tyler packed her belongings. Letters about Tyler's first steps, first words, first day of school. Letters about how much he looked like me, acted like me, had my stubbornness and my humor. Letters apologizing, explaining, justifying. Letters filled with love. For Tyler, for me, for the life we might have had. Tyler found me crying over them. She loved you, he said quietly. Even after all those years. She never stopped loving you. I loved her too. I never stopped either, not really. Are you going to tell your wife that? My almost ex-wife. Yeah, are you? I thought about it. No, because Lauren deserves someone who loves her the way Emma and I loved each other, completely, without reservation. And I thought I did, but now I realize I was always comparing her to a ghost. That's not fair to her. I know. Tyler sat down next to me. For what it's worth, I don't think you have to choose between us, between me and your other kids. But I think you've been trying so hard to make up for lost time with me that you forgot they needed you too. When did you get so wise? I had a good mom. He paused. Look, I'm not asking you to be the dad I never had. I'm 22 years old. I raised myself with mom's help. What I'm asking for is a relationship. Get to know me. Let me get to know you. Let me get to know Christopher and Grace. We're family, whether your wife accepts it or not. But maybe if you stop trying to force it and just let it happen naturally, everyone will come around. You sound like your mother. I'll take that as a compliment. 3 weeks after Emma's funeral, I did something I should have done weeks earlier. I went to my house, still technically my house, even though I didn't live there, and asked Lauren if we could talk. Really talk. We sat in the kitchen, the same kitchen where we'd had 1,000 family dinners, and I said the words I needed to say. I'm sorry, I handled this all wrong. I got so caught up in trying to be there for Tyler that I forgot about Christopher and Grace. They needed me, and I abandoned them. You needed me, and I abandoned you. And I'm sorry. Lauren was quiet for a long time. Then she said, I've been thinking a lot these past few weeks, and I realize I was wrong too. Tyler is your son. He deserves to know you. And preventing that was cruel, both to him and to you. But but I can't be married to someone who's in love with someone else, even if that someone is dead. Lauren. It's okay, Michael. Really. I think we've both known for a while that what we had was good, but it wasn't great. We built a partnership, a family, a life. But we never had what you and Emma had, that burning, consuming love. And I deserve that. So do you. What about the kids? The kids deserve a father who's present. Both of their fathers. You and Tyler are both their family now. We'll make it work. Shared custody, family therapy, whatever it takes. But the marriage is over. I nodded, tears streaming down my face. I really did love you, Lauren. I know, and I loved you too. Just not enough. It's been 6 months since Emma died. Lauren and I are officially divorced, but we're better as co-parents than we were as spouses. Christopher eventually agreed to meet Tyler, and they've actually bonded over their shared interest in environmental policy. Grace was easier. She was excited to have an older brother. Tyler comes to family dinners sometimes. It's awkward, but getting less so. He and Christopher text about college. Grace asks him for music recommendations. I'm learning who Tyler is, and he's learning who I am. Not father and son in the traditional sense, but something else. Something meaningful. Last week, Tyler graduated from UMaine. I sat in the audience next to Christopher and Grace, and when Tyler walked across the stage, all three of us cheered. Afterward, Tyler introduced me to people as my dad. Not my biological father, or, this is Michael, just my dad. It was the first time he'd called me that, and it felt right. Emma was right about a lot of things, but she was wrong about one thing. Telling me about Tyler didn't destroy me. It broke me, yes. It cost me my marriage, nearly cost me my relationship with Christopher and Grace. But it also gave me a son I didn't know I needed. And sometimes the hardest truths are the ones that set us free. Tyler asked me last week, do you regret it? Meeting me, I mean. Given everything it cost you? I didn't even have to think about it. No, not for a second. Because some secrets, when they come to light, don't destroy families. They create new ones. Hit subscribe. We post true stories of justice every single day. See you tomorrow.